So let's talk about setting the scale of your drawing within your layouts. So we're picking up from our last video and we have our 11 by 17 page set up. So make sure you do that first. It's very important. And what you're looking at right here, this is called a viewport, and you automatically get a viewport with each layout, and it shows you a view into your drawing. So typically what you will see is everything that you've drawn. Now I already have mine zoomed in, so you're seeing a select area, and I'll show you how to do that. So this is our viewport. You will have a default, and if you ever need to create one, you can type the command MVIEW. You should see that at the bottom of my screen, and hit enter. And all you need to do at that point is draw a rectangular box, and you'll get a new viewport. You can copy, erase, you can change the shape and size of your viewports just by using the grips in the corners. So they're highly modifiable. To work within your viewport, this is a very fun function. You double click inside the box. So use your mouse, double click inside the box, and you will see that your crosshairs are only useful inside the box. And when you scroll beyond the box, you will get an arrow button. So that means the only thing that you can do is work within your viewport. So within this viewport, you can zoom by using your scroll button. You can pan. You can also basically modify anything within the drawing. Now, you can modify anything without the drawing. However, I don't recommend it because oftentimes you will end up getting a little bit confused and end up messing up your viewport scale and getting a little lost within your drawing. So if you need to make large changes to the content of your plan, you want to go ahead and go back into model space and do that. For here, this is basically for setting your scale or making a quick adjustment. So you can do a Z enter and zoom into a window. You can use your real-time zooming to change your scale. But what you actually will want to do is set a scale of your drawing. So go down to your gray bar in the lower right-hand corner, and you'll see an unusual number. Click on that number, and you can choose a scale from the list of scales offered to you. That's all we need for right now. You can choose custom scale in the future if you need to. Most of our drawings will be 1/8 of an inch equals 1 foot. Sorry, I have a kitten in my hands. And that's a great scale for landscape drawings, and it's typically what we would like to aim for. And oftentimes I'll adjust the size of my plan just so I can stick with this scale. When you work with details, you might want to make them a little bit larger scale, like 1/4 of an inch, even up to 1 inch equals 1 foot. So you have this set at 1/8 of an inch equals a foot. We're using annotative scale, so that automatically selected the size of our dimensions and call outs. And once you have this set, you want to go ahead and lock your viewport. So click on this padlock button, and it should turn blue. And what happens there is now you can no longer pan or zoom to change the scale. So you have it locked into place. It's a very common error to accidentally zoom or pan and change your scale dramatically, and you don't want to do that. Double click outside of the box and you will have your viewport set, scaled, and ready to work with. So you can see that I have my 3 almost a little bit cut off, so I can take this and move the boundary, and that will adjust the scale. So here's where you are with this drawing, and this is what we'll be going towards. And what I'm going to do is give you this title block because it is fairly simple and it's something that you can edit and use as your own. Now there's lots of different title blocks that we use. Some are prescribed by the county or city and they need to be followed exactly. Some need to include information that's particular to a particular client or the project that you're working on, HOA, something like that. So there's lots of variety. Usually you're going to create your own title block that is something that you're accustomed to seeing and contains all of the information that you need. So the basics of a title block will be that your information block is towards the right-hand side of the page, and this is because you will bind the left-hand side if you have multiple sheets. You want to keep all of your text to a minimum of 1/8 of an inch height. So that's the true height, and that's in paper space or plotted space. And anything larger than that is great, but our minimum needs to be 1/8 of an inch. And that's because if you reduce it by 1/2, which oftentimes happens, we produce half-size sets, you'll still be able to read the information. So looking at our title block right here, you have a box, and that's where your logo will go. And that's our next assignment that we'll add on. This is the name of your drawing. For our case, it's assignment. And this is your contact information. So it's really important that you describe the information within your drawing. You want to make sure that you have a scale shown, a north arrow shown, and a way that the client can contact you. So this will be your information, the date, the assignment name, and the file name. So whatever you've named your file, .dwg, it's displayed here at the top of the screen. And that will help you find this drawing in the future from a plotted plan. So go ahead and you'll edit this information from the file that I give you and do a save as once you have everything set up, and edit this, and your assignment will be the name of the assignment, which is assignment 7. So if you go to your 11 by 17 layout, you can start with the file that I give you. And you can insert it as a block, or you can select the information and use your keyboard to click the Control-C button, and you'll see that it found 33 objects. Click on the tab that you'd like to use, and Control-V. Now this is universal for Windows, and it is a copy clip. It's a great way to bring pictures or any kind of information from another file or drawing into the one that you're using. You'll need to take the corners of your drawing and move your viewport to fit within this area, and you can see that there's still a little bit of an overlap, which you definitely do not want. So you can pick up and move, enter, move your viewport over a little bit, and that will allow you to relocate some of this information. Let me see, I think I seem to be having a problem with that, which does happen. So let's pick that up and move it. And I accidentally moved this line as well, so using my snaps, go ahead and move it back to where it was. And extend, enter, and trim. Enter. Okay, so we just want to adjust this viewport to get it into the right location, make sure everything's showing. So we have locked this viewport, so what we need to do is to be able to see all of the information that we've created in the middle, double click inside the viewport, unlock the viewport, pan or zoom is needed, but we're just going to pan in this situation, lock it again, and double click outside of the viewport. Our scale is set for here at 1/16 of an inch equals a foot, and that's incorrect, so we can edit this scale to 1/8 of an inch equals 1 foot, hit enter, and so all of these numbers need to be reduced. So our 10 now becomes a 5. We can set this to 0. This becomes a 5 as well. And this is a 15. It's a little odd, but it will work. And this is 10. So if we do our distance, DI, enter, click, click, our distance should be 1/8 of an inch, which is incorrect. So we may need to modify this bar scale. And bar scales are very simple to draw. Because you're drawing 1/8 of an inch, you can do a rectangle. And at 1/16, comma, 1/8. And so that right there is 1 foot. You can take those and copy them. Two feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet, enter. And then I'm going to draw another rectangle, REC, enter. And copy that over. Another 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet, hit enter. I'm going to draw a polyline from the midpoint to the midpoint, hit enter, and then hatch these boxes. So a little bit of a checkerboard pattern, back and forth. Make this solid, hit enter, and go ahead and erase this. And move my bar scale up here. Move again. So I did move and then previous. So that means whatever I just moved, by typing in P, it selects those same objects again. Hit enter. Move them over a little bit. And you can adjust the text as needed. So that concludes our information for this exercise. You can go ahead and complete it, and I'll make sure that the title block information is available for you as a drawing.